P. Diddy, Joseph Stalin, the Beatles, Flappy Bird, all very successful things that eventually had to come to an end at some point. Now, of course, whether all those things were good things are debatable. The obvious one, Flappy Bird, was probably not the best thing. It made people crazy. But the bottom line is, as good as a team like the Houston Astros were and have been for years, it inevitably wasn't going to last forever. Now, the moment that cheating scandal dropped 5 years ago, they also inevitably weren't going to have most baseball fans upset whenever this run ended. This is pretty much how most people are seeing the news of what just happened. But just a week ago, this team not only looked like it had a shot for the playoffs, but for the division again, that the Mariners would just fold over per usual and nothing has changed. Update?
Oh, yes it has, sir. Everything's changed.
Thank you for being here, subscribed or not. If you haven't joined the 49% Elite Humans, consider hitting that button if you enjoy the videos, as I think overall this Astros team was about what I thought they would be before the season when I snuck into their spring training facility. Pretty good, but nothing special, and good chance they're not a playoff team. And it actually started, like in the offseason when they traded away Kyle Tucker and let Alex Bregman go, two moves that even in hindsight aren't awful. Tucker had just 1 year left before free agency. You're not going to pay him what he wants, so you might as well get value for him, and they did. They got 3 players in return, one of them being a top prospect. And then Bregman, I think they just didn't want to commit to too many years for him. Now, part of me is just happy he's gone because I like him on the Red Sox. But either way, those are still 2 veteran stars that are no longer there. And you're taking that away from a team that was already kind of on the weaker side last year. Like, they only made the playoffs. They only won their division because nobody in their division wanted to. And if they had some deep run, they would have showed that that wasn't the case, but they didn't. They instantly got exposed by the Tigers. So it's already a weaker team. Now take away even more players that made them good to begin with. Now make Yordan Alvarez MIA for most of the year with injuries. Hard to be a great team without him. That's kind of a massive ask. That's like hoping the Justice League can take out some big threat without Superman. I guess it could happen, but good luck. Looking back, the month of June was maybe the biggest false advertising by any team this season. They were great. They went 19-7 that month, had like 2 separate 5-game winning streaks. They were clutch. They walked off the Twins 2 days in a row at one point. And then they started off July exactly the same. They win a series in Colorado, go into Dodger Stadium, drop 18 runs on the 4th of July, and sweep the Dodgers to go 20 games over 500. Things couldn't have possibly been going any better at that point. But after that, they were never the same. Of course, there have been some awesome parts of this team. Jeremy Pena turned into an entirely new player this year with how good he hit. Hunter Brown has continuously gotten better each year. This has been a career year for the guy, so for him and Pena. The Astros bullpen was mostly great. Josh Hader was Josh Hader. Josh Hader on Temu was pretty good. They eventually, of course, tried to reignite some magic by trading for Carlos Correa, who did start hitting better than he was in Minnesota, but still wasn't that much better, and overall things just never fully clicked the way they thought or maybe hoped. Hader eventually had to have his season ended because of shoulder issues. That's a big blow. Again, that's like asking the Powerpuff Girls to protect their city without Blossom. Good frickin' luck. It also doesn't help when you start having betrayal. Some friendly fire your own what's supposed to be the ace of your rotation throwing a tantrum on the mound and potentially injuring his journeyman catcher in the process. Yeah, not a great look, and neither is this. The Mariners coming into Houston and dominating you for 3 straight nights to take full control for the division. So now you have to fight just to have a seat at the table. Off to Sacramento to face the homeless A's, and the Astros may have had a new strategy going out west for their final road trip of the season. A strategy of just not trying too hard because they either just didn't want to field the baseball or Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones showed up with one of these, and they just completely forgot how to field a baseball because this is how the A's scored their first run. And this is how they scored their second run. A's put up 5 overall on the night. Meanwhile, the A's pitching dominated. Astros get 3 hits the entire night, just 1 run. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. So naturally, they go out the next night and score 0 runs. Luis Severino, who despises Sacramento's ballpark, and his ERA there his numbers would back up why he hates it. His ERA there is literally double his ERA on the road. Severino has a 3 ERA on the road this year. It's 6 at home. Well, he finally pitched well at home. 6 1/3 innings, just 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, no runs. Meanwhile, on the A's offensive side, they were facing Hunter Brown. Again, career year for the guy. He's exactly who the Astros need on the mound in a game like this, except it might as well have been Cleveland Brown on the mound. The A's could not care less. Knocking him up, whoa. That sounds weird. Yeah, the A's knocked him up for 4 runs, so he's now pregnant. And then the other knockoff, Josh Hader, comes in and serves up back-to-back jacks to Shea Langoliers and Tyler Soderstrom. Back-to-back pitches, bang, bang, 6-0 A's. That's the final score. And with the Mariners 2 wins, forget just the division. The Astros were now on the outside looking in at a playoff spot, and they finally played with some urgency, going all for 11 runs in the finale of this series. Framber Valdez goes 7 innings, striking out 10 hitters. No Astros catchers were harmed in the making of this game. Okay, great. They're hanging in there. Not dead yet. Off to Anaheim, where the urgency looked like it was still there. Like, they meant business. Christian Walker takes Kyle Hendricks deep in what is Hendricks' final start of his career. Kind of an asshole move by Walker, but whatever. They put up 3 runs in this inning, one of them coming on a double steal as Ramon Urias stole second. Zach Cole snuck home. So this is big. Great start, but 2 words. Mike Trout. He immediately answers those Astros runs by going deep and then does it again with the game now tied off the other knockoff, Josh Hader, to give the Angels the lead. Astros once had a 3-run lead. Now they have just 3 outs to work with, or their season just gets that much closer to being over. And it's safe to say Kenley Jansen ain't over 2017. Even though none of these Astros players were really a part of it, at least the ones he faced in the top of the 9th, he doesn't give a crap. Whoever is wearing an Astros uniform is going to feel his wrath. He strikes out the side, and the Astros are now as close as their season being done as can be without it being official. And it's actually insanely poetic how this ended. So go back to what I mentioned earlier. The Astros had a great June. They start off July hot. They whoop the Dodgers a new asshole. Houston's on top of the world. It is so fascinating looking back on this. So they went home the very next day to face the Cleveland Guardians, who were on a 10-game losing streak at the time. So you have an Astros team that couldn't be hotter. They've won 24 of their last 30 games. Meanwhile, the Guardians couldn't be at a lower point in their season. Well, Cleveland ended up winning that game, and the next after that. They swept the red-hot Astros in Houston, and since that series started, have gone 47-26. The Astros, 30-40. And how did the Astros officially get eliminated from the postseason? By the Cleveland Guardians walking off to punch their own ticket to October. The MLB scriptwriters deserve a raise, man. This is incredible. And it's hilarious how it happened, too. The Guardians are playing the Rangers, who are completely out of it. So at this point, the Rangers beating the Guardians, which they did on Friday night, ironically helped Houston. And I don't think a single Rangers fan wants to ever help the Astros in any way imaginable. That's like asking Anakin Skywalker to babysit a bunch of younglings. It's not going to happen. So in the 9th inning of the second game in this series, with the game tied, the Guardians find a way to load up the bases with 2 outs. And in my head canon, I'm just going to go with the idea that Robert Garcia swallowed his pride and said, screw it, we're already done. I have the chance to completely take the Astros down with us. Why the hell not at this point? Bro really went,
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
And not too long after this happened, they took out Carlos Correa. Like, he's gone. They eliminated him. Look, I'm not a fan of what he did in 2017 either, but this is a little much. No, but really, Jose Altuve, Isaac Paredes, and Correa all left the second game against the Angels after just 1 at-bat, since their playoff hopes were now done. And this, honestly, the whole thing feels right. Not because I'm some Astros hater. I actually did root for them in 2022 because I thought they deserved to show the world they can win without that cloud hanging over their heads. But this isn't the same team anymore. Can they get back to that? Sure, we'll see. But right now, the 2025 Astros went just about how I thought the 2025 Astros should have went. And with that, there will be an October without the Astros for the first time since 2016. That's wild. But again, nothing lasts forever, good or bad. Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.